With Disneyland set to celebrate its 70th anniversary this year, each month we will be going over the history of Disneyland, a decade at a time, seeing what attractions and restaurants opened and which ones closed. So, this is the complete history of Disneyland. Part 1, 1955 to 1965. On July 17, 1955, Disneyland opened in Anaheim, California, opening with Main Street USA, Frontierland, Tomorrowland, Fantasyland, and Adventureland. Opening day did not go entirely to plan, as a plumber's strike caused the water fountains to not work. High temperatures meant the asphalt laid the day before was soft and ladies' heels were getting stuck in it, and counterfeit tickets meant the park was overcrowded. Despite the first day being dubbed Black Sunday, Disneyland would grow in popularity and remain open 70 years later. At the end of the year, on December 25th, Disneyland would add its first new attraction, the Mike Fink Keelboats. Outside the park, on October 5th, 1955, the Disneyland Hotel officially opened, although it was owned by Jack Raffer rather than the Disney Company. 1956 with the addition of more attractions in Disneyland, starting with the Astrojets on April 2nd. Two big additions were added in June when Tom Sawyer Island opened on June 16th, and the Skyway between Fantasyland and Tomorrowland opened on June 23rd. Finally in July, the Mine Train through Nature's Wonderland opened on July 2nd, and the Indian War Canoes, later renamed the Davy Crockett Canoes, opened on July 4th. In April 1957, the Sleeping Beauty Castle walkthrough opened in Disneyland, using empty space within the castle previously occupied by stray cats. In June, the Motorboat Cruise opened in Fantasyland on the border to Tomorrowland. Additionally, both the Monsanto House of the Future and the Viewliner Train of Tomorrow opened in June in Tomorrowland. Also in June, Disneyland's first expansion, Holidayland, opened, a large grassy picnic area with separate admission gate, sack races, slides, and merry-go-rounds. 1958 saw the addition of a Grand Canyon diorama to the Disneyland Railroad on March 31st, 1958. A new Fantasyland dark ride opened on June 14th, built on the roof of Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, called Alice in Wonderland. The following month, the sailing ship Columbia opened in Frontierland, adding another boat to the rivers of America. Finally in Tomorrowland, the short-lived Viewliner Train of Tomorrow closed to make way for the monorail. 1959 saw the first substantial expansion to Disneyland on June 14th, when the Submarine Voyage and Lagoon opened in Tomorrowland. The same day, the Disneyland monorail system opened, although it was just a loop around Tomorrowland at the time. To complete the expansion, on June 14th, the Matterhorn bobsleds opened opposite the new lagoon, Disneyland's first roller coaster, and it was the first tubular steel roller coaster in the world. On 13th of September, the Rainbow Mountain stagecoaches closed as they were prone to tipping over. Not a ton happened at Disneyland in 1960, other than the opening of the sun-kissed Citrus House on Main Street USA. In 1961, the monorail line was extended to add a stop at the Disneyland Hotel. On August 6, 1961, the Flying Saucers opened in Tomorrowland, acting as hovercraft bumper cars. Due to its lack of shade, lack of nighttime lighting, and lack of Disney theming, Holidayland closed in September 1961. In 1962, Aunt Jemima's Pancake House was renamed Aunt Jemima's Kitchen in Frontierland. In June, the Adventureland Cantina became Sunkissed, I presume. Across the way, the Tahitian Terrace opened in June, featuring a Polynesian-inspired show. Staying in Adventureland, the Swiss Family Treehouse opened on November 18th, 1962. In 1963, Disney made its first advancements in audio animatronic technology after Walt Disney brought home a mechanical bird from a visit to New Orleans. The result was Walt Disney's Enchanted Tiki Room, which opened on June 13, 1963. In the neighbouring Frontierland, the facade of a haunted mansion was constructed, although plans for what was going inside of it were still not set in stone. As Disney debuted new attractions at the 1964 New York World Fair, very little was added to Disneyland in 1964. The Jungle Cruise received an update thanks to Imagineer Mark Davis to make it more humorous, including the addition of the trap safari scene and the African vet. On August 7th, the Astrojets would close in Tomorrowland. 1965 would mark Disneyland's 10th anniversary with new additions on Main Street, USA on July 18th. The land added Plaza Inn restaurant, and Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln opened following its tenure at the World's Fair. An anniversary special was also recorded, teasing the addition of New Orleans Square, Pirates of the Caribbean, and Haunted Mansion. So, that was the first 10 years of Disneyland's existence. Join us next time as we see how Imagineering continued after Walt Disney's death and finished some of Walt Disney's original plans.